Hey everybody, Winty Johannes here. When talking about, mental illness and all the other aspects that come along with that, why is it so important to protect our mental state, especially in our own community?
When it comes to mental health, we need to do our due diligence as a community to get rid of the stigma around mental health. We need to have open discussions about it. We need to let people know that there is treatment out there, and we need to come together to ensure that nobody in our community feels like there isn't help.
First, I think mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It also affects how we think, feel, and act. And I think that it helps to determine how we handle stress, how much we relate to others, as well as the choices that we make.
So mental health, from the top of my head, can mean anxiety. It can mean dementia. It can mean clinical or situational depression. And now statistics shows that 1 in 5 adults deal with mental health.
Hi, it's Johanna E. So the question about mental illness and what it means to me is the state of mind you're in or an emotion that's like just impacting your life, whether you're depressed or just not in a good mood. And the reason why it's important is because we, as people, sometimes don't allow ourselves to tap in and feel connected to how we actually are feeling, and it's okay to be vulnerable and accept that we have moods. We go up and down, we have highs and lows, and it's okay that you feel sad at times or happy for reasons, and it's good to be aware of how you're feeling in others. And it's really important to take time in your life with people who you love and yourself to remember that. So yeah, it's really important.
Because mental health really does affect our day-to-day lives. It affects our school life, our work life, when we're around our family and friends. And so making sure that we are taking care of our mental health and that we are doing the things that we need to do to be right within, I think is extremely important. I think especially because in our community we focus so much about our outside looks that we're not focusing on how we feel, our emotions, and how our mental stability. So I think having this conversation about mental health and mental awareness, mental education is extremely important in our community. And yeah.
Within the last 2 years, I've had 18 therapy sessions. And that's not because I struggle with mental illness. It's because I value taking care of myself. I value taking care of my mental health. Mental illness, many severe forms of mental illness can be prevented if people are actively managing their mental health. Mental illness is real. It affects all of us, including our Eritrean community. أمرهم محدث نبصاهم محدثي.
Salam Bruchat Kamik Al-Nuhum. Why is mental health important? ንምንታይ ኢና እምሮኻ ምሕዳስ ኣገዳሲ ኮይኑ ረኺብናዮ ዘለና ብርግጽ ንሕና ኣብ ሕብረተሰብና ናይ ግድን ክንዘራረበሉ ወይ ካኒ ክነቕሓሉ ዘለና ጉዳይ ኮይኑ ረኺበ ኣለኹ ማከስ እቲ እምሮኻ ምሕዳስ ከመይ ጌርካ እምሮኻ ትሕድሶ ከም ሰባት መጠን ብዙሕ ነገር ንሓስብ ንኽእል ኢና ብዙሕ ነገር ምስ ንሓስብ ከዓኒ ሃንድል ኣብ ደይ ንገብሮ ኩነታት ንርከብ ወይ ከዓ ማኔጅ ክንገብሮ ኣይንኽእል ኢና ኣብ ሓንጎልና ዘምፅኦ ኢንፍሉወንስ ወይ ከዓ ፀቕጥታት ብዙሕ ይኸውን ማለት እዩ ሶ ምስቲ ከምኡ ከዓኒ ከመይ ጌርና ንነገራት ወይ ስትረስ ኮይኑ ብዙሕ ነገር ከመይ ጌርና ሃንድል ክንገብሮ ከም ዘለና ከመይ ጌርና ማኔጅ ክንገብሮ ከም ዘለና ናይ ግድን ኣእምሮና ክንሕድሶ ኣለና ማለት እዩ ከመይ ጌርና ጥዕና ዘለዎ ኣእምሮ ክንሕዝ ንኽእል ከመይ ጌርና ኣእምሮና ክንሕድሶ ንኽእል ማለት እዩ firstly schedule ክህልወካ ኣለዎ ፕላን ክህልወካ ኣለዎ ነቲ ትገብሮ ነገራት ፎከስ ክኸውን ኣለካ ስምዒታዊ ክትከውን የብልካን ምክንያቱ እሱ እውን ስምዒታዊ ምዃኑ እውን ሓደ ካብቲ ናይ ፀቕጢ ዲፕሬሽን ዘምፅኦ ነገር እዩ ስምዒታዊ ዝገብረካ ማለት እዩ so እንታይ ክንገብር ኣለና ኣብ ሂወትና ከመይ ጌርና ነዚ ሜንታል ሄልዝ ኣዌር ክንከውን ኣለና ኣዌር ክንኮነሉ ዘለና ምክንያት ጥዕና ዘለዎ ምግቢ ምብላዕ ኤክሰርሳይዝ ኣክቲቪቲ ማለት እዩ እኹል ድቃስ ክህልወና ኣለዎ ኤክሰርሳይዝ ክንገብር ኣለና ኣብ ሂወትና እውን ዝሐጉሰና ነገር ክንገብር ክንክእል ኣለና ማለት እዩ in order to handle the stress, in order to manage the stress ማለት እዩ ምክንያቱ if you are taking care of yourself ብዙሕ ነገር ክትተርፍ ትኽእል ኢኻ ኣእምሮኻ ምስ ዝሕደስ ኣእምሮኻ ጥዕና ምስ ዝህልዎ ኢኻ ብዙሕ ነገር ክትሰርሕን ክትገብርን ትኽእል ማለት እዩ የቀኒየለይ
Hello, my name is Michael Gilbert Christos, and what mental health means to me is the well-being of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I am a social worker, so I deal with kids on a daily basis, at-risk youth with mental health issues, and sometimes even myself need some mental health. And so what I do for that is I hit the gym, I work out, I ride bikes, I play soccer, and I always keep my mind occupied. And when I do run into a problem, what I do is I vent and I talk to people. I have a support group like my family members and some of my best friends. And this is where I talk to them and tackle any issue that I'm having. Anybody out there with mental health issues, the first thing you should do is stay positive and try to keep negative thoughts, because negative thoughts can lead to your brain lingering to places like drugs, alcohol, etc. So just keep yourself positive, stay happy, and always stay around people that love you, that care about you, and that are going to help you succeed. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I go by the name of DJ Sammy Sam. I was asked, what does mental health mean to me? Mental health to me is the well-being of your mental. And in times that we are in right now, and I can understand how it's easy to kind of not be in the right state of mind. It's probably very challenging right now, considering that we're stuck in these four walls for a long period of time. We may be by ourselves, or even maybe with multiple people around us. We still feel by ourselves. So we really need to kind of step out of that. We need to kind of be thinking positive. Maybe keep our mind thinking elsewhere a little bit. Something that I like to do is, read a book, play some music, watch some documentaries, kind of reach out to friends and family that I haven't talked to in a while. Those are just some of the things that I do to kind of keep me distracted for a little bit. We don't want to be overthinking, especially in the time that we're in right now, considering that we have plenty of free time. It's really easy to make wrong decisions at this point. But wish you all the best. Stay strong. Try to think positive. If any of you need any help, please feel free to reach out. My number, my line, my DM me, whatever you need to do. Just please feel free. I'm here for you.
My name is Maron Abraham, and I know mental health is taboo in our culture. I just want to say, it doesn't really matter how you ask. If you guys want to talk, let's talk. My hands are always open.
Hi, beautiful people. My name is Lidiana, and mental health means peace, inner peace. As someone that was, depressed and all of that in the past, I know how important it is to lower that negative voice that we have sometimes up here. And it's like a battle, like within you, that no one else around you would understand because they're not inside of you. You know what I mean? And that's why self-care is so important. That's why it's important who your friends are, the energy around you, what you eat, what you watch, all of that. Like, I'm a person, I'm like full of boundaries. You can call me Lidiana Boundaries Gebrehewet, you know what I mean? because I can't let anyone into my life. And I understood that it was my fault in the past, letting energies into my life and then eventually let their voices into here. And then I had to work so hard to get them out. So Look after yourself, beautiful people. And yes, I'm sending you lots of love and happiness.
Being mentally healthy means being resilient, feeling in control, feeling good about yourself, managing and expressing your emotions, and building long-lasting relationships. Mental health is important at every stage of life.
One thing about life is if your mental is not straight, it's going to be like a roadblock when you're trying to achieve your goals, you know? So mental illness in our community is definitely something that we need to pay attention to because it travels through our DNA. So stay aware.
Mental health is very essential to a balanced life. Many of us don't take it seriously. Some of us have a hard time trying to figure out what is the cause of my behavior, but we're not looking into the mental state of that outcome. So the more you sit here and you tune with your mental stability, then you'll figure out mental health is the most important thing. Without that, you can't function. Without that, you can't, be who you are. So the more you sit here and focus on your mental state of mind, trying to make it healthy, then you have a healthier outcome in life.
Hey everyone, my name is Harina Caseta, and why mental health is so important to me is simply because if we don't take care of that alone, it can trickle into other areas in our lives. That being said, it's almost like a domino effect. If we lack attention to our mental health, literally all other aspects of health as well is affected. And it could be negatively affected if we're not taking care of it the way we should be.
What's up, guys? My name is Ephraim Tuku, and I'm going to share with you guys what mental illness means to me and what we should do about it when we're discussing it. And sorry, I'm here at work, so I wrote it quickly, and I'm just going to read it to you guys. Some of the most comforting words in the universe are "me too." That moment when you find out that the struggle is also someone else's struggle, that you are not alone and that others have been down that same road. You see, we have to understand that we are all equal, men and women, all equal. God created us the same, and we must help one another. If we don't, then who's going to help us? It's about time that we look at each other as brothers and sisters and help those who are in need of our help. I truly believe that when discussing mental illness, we should not use the word normal. No one is normal. No one is normal. Everyone acts and behaves differently, and everyone is unique in their own way. Telling a person who is depressed to have positive thought is the same as telling a sick person to not be sick. It doesn't work. It does not work. And if you think about it, no one tells a cancer patient to just get over it. So why do we think it's okay to tell a person that is mentally ill, you're crazy, or just get over it or have positive thoughts? It's not fair. It's about time that we stop this BS stigma about mental illness and help those who need us, because we deserve help, and these are human beings. Everyone deserves a chance. These are people. These are not animals. So please, we gotta keep pushing it, and we have to have people be educated about this. Cancer, diabetes, AIDS has always been promoted and televised on television. I think that's a plus, but I believe that it's about time that we also include mental illness and we continue talking about it and keep pressing it, because again, these people are people. They're human beings just like you and I. They're not crazy. They're not dumb. They're just having extra difficulties. So please, let's help them promote it and let them know that we're here and that we got their back no matter what. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Mental health is like any other illness. There is nothing to be ashamed of, especially in our community. We have to fight the stigma around it. Maybe because it's not physically visible, that's what makes it hard maybe for others to understand. But as I said before, there is nothing to be ashamed of. We have to openly discuss about it and try to find a solution.
I want to remind you guys that just because someone looks really well put together doesn't mean they actually are. And we might not always know what they may be going through. So I want to remind you guys to always be kind to one another, no matter what. And I encourage you guys to be the shoulder or ears you may want in a friend. It's important to talk about these kinds of things, even though culturally we've been taught to not talk about these kinds of things. I think talking about it and acknowledging it is definitely the way how we're going to break this cycle of stigma associated with mental health in our community. And I want you to remember that you were loved, you were blessed, and you were a blessing to others.
I think that mental health is important every stage of life, starting from childhood to adolescence into adulthood. And everyone and anyone can develop mental health, and you don't have to be a certain age or gender to have mental health. And I think it's an important topic, although it's not discussed as much, or people are not open about it, because one reason could be that they might not feel comfortable, or their social or their culture doesn't accept it. And so they're not as open about it.
I initially just wanted to ask people, what is mental illness and why is it so important, especially in our own community? It seems to be a very taboo topic that we don't talk about, and we definitely should. And the purpose of this video would be to spread awareness on this topic at hand, and the result of the video would be a discussion. And hopefully this will spark the attention of our people anywhere and everywhere, so that they can take the initiative, and or we can take the initiative to create something from it. And I personally would want to bring in professionals to educate our community about it. What would you do? We just have to stop talking about it, you guys. Like, we have to stop talking about it and be about it. What's the point of being woke if there's no action behind it? So with that being said, let's take action. Let's start the discussion. Mental illness, mental awareness, protecting your mental state, right? Let's have the discussion. Thank you.